Welcome to the In-Tune Guitar Academy. This is lesson number 10. Today we're going to be looking at switching from the D chord to the C chord. I know it sounds simple, but it's actually something that's pretty challenging for beginning guitar players. This is an ongoing series of how to play a three-chord song if you never played guitar before. So one of the first challenges that you're going to face is being able to do that, changing from one chord to the next. The first challenge is actually playing the chord. The second challenge is being able to go from one chord to the next. And truth be told, there are still some chords that challenge me. After many years of playing, I still have to work on some chord changes as well. So before we begin, as always, we have to make sure that the guitar is in tune. I've already covered this in previous lessons, so if you refer back to lesson number 3 or lesson number 6, I talk about tuning the guitar. Or if you go to In-Tune Guitar Academy, I also cover different aspects of tuning the guitar. So to begin, we're going to have to review. So the first chord that we went over was the D major chord. So if you remember, it kind of looks like a triangle from that perspective. So it consists of 4 notes. So we have the open D, which is just playing the D string, which is our 4th string. Just play that open, and then we put our index finger, the number 1 finger, on the A note, 2nd fret, 3rd string. And then we take our ring finger, the number 3 finger, put that on 2nd string, 3rd fret. And then we take our middle finger, which is the number 2 finger, and put that on the 1st string, 2nd fret, and play all those strings, all those notes together. And then just to make sure that we're getting it right, you want to be able to pluck each string individually. And this ensures that you're positioning your fingers in the right position. You want to be able to put them as close as possible to the fret edge. That's the way you get the best sound, playing these open chords. And then you also want to make sure that you're pressing down hard enough to make a sound, but not so hard that you're hurting your fingers. And actually, if you're playing an electric guitar, pressing down too hard using these open chords will actually make your strings go out of tune for that, just for that particular moment. So you're actually pressing so hard on the strings that you force your guitar out of tune for that, just for that instant as you're plucking the chord. So just practice that again, going over, making sure that you can actually play the D chord. And then our next chord is the C chord, and for the purposes of this lesson, we're going to be using the modified simpler version. So we're only playing 5 of the strings. We put our number 3 finger, which is our ring finger, 5th string, 3rd fret, and that's our root note, the C. And then you take the 2nd finger, which is your middle finger, and then you put that down on the 4th string, 2nd fret. That makes an E note. The next note is a G, which is simply the G string played open. You have to make sure that it rings open like that. And then we take our index finger and put that down on the 1st fret, 2nd string, and that's the octave. So remember, I talked about the octave in past lessons. And then we make sure that we play the E string nice and open. So again, you try to play them 1 string at a time, just to make sure that you're pressing down firm enough, not too hard, not too soft, but just enough to give you a good sound. And as I mentioned, if you're playing an electric guitar, it's very important that you don't press too hard, otherwise you'll force your guitar out of tune when you're playing that chord. So then the next thing you have to learn how to do is going from D to C, and D to C, then D to C. And the only way to do that is to learn by practicing. You just have to keep on doing it over and over. Try practicing a little bit every day. It's not something that you can do by doing a couple hours once a week. The best way to practice this and anything related to the guitar is little bit by little bit, incremental steps. So we just try maybe 10 minutes each night, each morning, whenever you have some free time, to play that D to C, D to C, and D to C. Once you master that, then we try to go C to D, C to D. Once you feel comfortable, then we can try to spice things up. And then you can do the same thing going from C to D. So that's it for today's lesson. I know it wasn't a very long lesson, but it's an important concept to be able to switch from one chord to the next. That's the only way you're going to be able to play a song that's composed of chords. Next lesson, we're going to be working our way towards learning the G major chord. So those are the 3 chords that we're learning in this series. So the series is how to play a 3-chord song if you've never played guitar before. So the first, as I'm repeating myself, the first chord that we learned was the D major chord, then we went on to the C major chord, and we're going to be playing the G major chord. That is the basis of so many pop and rock songs throughout the late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even today. Most songs today are more synthesizer based, but they kind of use the same patterns, D, C, and G. So that's it for today. Visit Intune Guitar Academy for more information on all things guitar. See you next time.